Well, the prairies are well into severe weather season, and Alberta, like our easterly neighbours, has seen quite a number of tornadoes, most recently near Edgerton and Dillberry Provincial Park on Wednesday. Here to break down a bit more of how that all unfolded and how our season is going so far is Dr. David Sills, the director of the Northern Tornadoes Project. Dr. Sills, thank you for joining us.
My pleasure to be here.
Now, for those who maybe don't know, the Northern Tornadoes Project is or are the ones who investigate tornadoes after they happen. What have your team uncovered so far about the tornado activity in Alberta this week?
Right, so we've got a team active in that area right now. They've investigated the entire track that went through the Dillberry Lake Provincial Park, and there was some really significant damage there. Trailers thrown, boats thrown, lots of trees down, that kind of thing. And the track extends right into Saskatchewan. They've completed work on that track, and now there's a second track up at Paradise Valley. And so they're working on characterizing that track. Also some big damage along that track as well. Mobile home that was completely destroyed, that kind of thing.
So based on the damage that you're seeing, can you give us sort of a preview of sort of the severity rating that we might be looking at?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, at least EF1 and likely EF2. We'll be making that determination probably later today or early tomorrow. Final determination. And again, that's a strong tornado, and certainly in line with the kind of damage that we saw, and just the power of these tornadoes.
Now, on the day, if I recall correctly, we did have a front pushing through the area. There was a bit of a trough as well. We saw a very distinct line of some very strong thunderstorms in that area. And actually, earlier on Friday, there was another round of similar line of thunderstorms in the same spot that was also causing a number of advisories. Is there a reason why that area has seen these storms form similarly this week?
It varies so much from year to year. I mean, this year we actually had that 8 tornado outbreak up in the Peace River region in northwestern Alberta, somewhere where we're not used to seeing a lot of tornadoes reported. But they do occur up there. It all depends on where the weather system's set up, where the heat and the instability are that provides the fuel for these thunderstorms. The prairies has been very active in general. I mean, we've had 48 tornadoes so far across the prairies. The average, 30-year average for the prairies is 34. So we're way above average, and we're only halfway through the season. So really active on the prairies this year. Not so active in the eastern part of the country. It just varies so much from year to year. That's why we calculate 30-year averages, to try to smooth out a lot of that variability and give us a better idea of what's happening nationally.
So is there an overarching reason why we're seeing so much more activity in the prairies this year and less further to the east and in the eastern part of the country?
We're looking into that. There could be some influence from El Nino, but when we look back into the past, the big years of El Nino in the summertime, there's really not a connection to a lot of tornadoes on the prairies. Even in the U.S., the connection is that during El Nino years, there's a reduction in tornadoes. So it's hard to see what the connections are there. Really not clear. It's part of the reason we collect all of this data in the first place, is to try to get a better understanding of all of these connections between global weather patterns, regional weather patterns, and then what actually happens on the ground.
Well, real quick, before we run out of time, I did want to direct our viewers and our listeners and everyone else to your website, as well as to the work that you and your team do. So for future reference, if people do spot tornadoes, how can they report their observations to better help your team?
Sure. Well, a couple ways. Our website is at uwo.ca/ntp, and at the top you'll see Report a Tornado. So you can use that to submit photos or video and your story about what happened. Or more simply, you could just email us at ntp@uwo.ca, and we'll respond.